What's going on with India's startup ecosystem? The Women in India Startup Ecosystem Report, also known as RizingHer, was released in October 2023. According to the report, women-led startups were said to have made significant strides over the past 5 years. Time travel back to 2017, India was said to be home to around 6,000 startups. At that point in time, about 10% of these were spearheaded by female founders. Fast forward to 2022, the Indian startup arena was said to have about 80,000 startups. Women-led startups were said to have captured close to a 20% market share, according to this report. In 2017, there were close to 15 unicorns in India. In 2022, there was said to be more than 100 unicorns in India. In 2017, VC funding for Indian startups was said to amount to about $6 billion. About 10% of funding was allocated to women-led startups. By 2022, total VC funding had surged to about $22 billion. The proportion directed toward women-led startups was said to have risen to about 20%. Does this mean there's a brightening of prospects for female entrepreneurs? There may be more progress of women in leadership positions within startups than in corporate enterprises. Startups were said to outshine traditional businesses in this aspect, with about 30% of women in managerial roles, compared to 20% of women in managerial roles at corporate enterprises. The disparity is set to widen further at the CXO level, where corporates have only 5% of women in leadership roles, while startups have close to 20%. And startups with a woman founder have 2.5x women in senior roles compared to male founder startups. According to the report, initially, both men and women commenced their careers with nearly equal representation in entry-level and managerial roles. However, as experience and tenure increase, a divergence is said to emerge that may favor men in securing more substantial footholds in senior roles. That being said, despite progress, more work remains to be done. It could also help to build strong networks, seek out mentors, participate in entrepreneurial communities, and attend networking as essential steps for women entrepreneurs to overcome gender funding gaps in the Indian startup ecosystem. It might be beneficial for women entrepreneurs to actively explore funding sources that specifically target women-owned businesses. So, there's more work to be done to ensure that women have equal opportunities to thrive and lead in the world of entrepreneurship. What is the role of women in shaping the future of startups in India? How can female founders continue to make their mark in India's vibrant startup ecosystem?